Thanks for joining us tonight at the Team Fastest Spurs Summer Showcase 2020. My name is Tualo. I'm going to be hosting for this next run. This is the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise race, the 2v2 race. I'm really excited for this. I've played this game a little bit, and Final Fantasy IV in general is just one of those games that's near and dear to me in my childhood. So this is going to be a great event. I'm joined in here tonight by Gambit07 and Commander Leon, or Gambit17, sorry, and Commander Leonhardt, who are going to be announcing this race for us. I've also got Scala who is one of the primary devs for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. Scala, if you would like to give us like a quick 60-second rundown on what Free Enterprise is all about and what the 2v2 race format entails, that would be fantastic.
Sure thing. Just to very quickly, just a quick programming note. It is Demarine 2 and Commander Leonhardt who will be on commentary. Gambit 017 is going to be our wonderful tracker for this evening. Hi everyone, I am Scala So this is Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. This is an open world randomizer based on the original Final Fantasy IV for the SNES, released over here originally as Final Fantasy II. You start the game with the Enterprise airship, and you are free to complete your objectives in whatever order you choose. And we're going to be playing a very special mode called 2v2. Basically, our two teams, blue team, BursikBadger and valvalisskunk, and the red team, sylverfyre and ZoeVermilion. They are both, all the teams are playing the exact same seed with one special change, and I'll get to that in just a moment. The blue team and the red team, amid the blue team, Val and Bursik are allowed to freely share information. Amongst the red team, sylverfyre and Zoe are allowed to freely share information, and they'll be doing so within Discord calls. Basically, they have to take on this seed as a team, and they have to do our different objectives, which are to forge the crystal, to play the Twin Harp song, to find Edward, and to defeat the Fabul Gauntlet. Afterwards, they will then be awarded with the crystal, and will then be able to fight Zeromus. Like I said, the seeds are basically the same. The only two changes we have made are to the purely aesthetic portions of the seed. So the Twin Harp songs, and this is because y'all have been so super generous, have been split between the two teams. So the blue team will be having our Mario song, the red team will have our Kirby song, and likewise, we also split up the Z sprites. So the blue team will have the modern gaming sprite, and the red team will have the classic gaming sprite. I hope you all will enjoy. I'm going to turn it all over to our commentary team and just give a big thank you from the Free Enterprise dev team. We love coming out. We love supporting marathons and making them special. And I hope you will enjoy our little special sprites and songs. Much love to Boardface, the lead dev who put together these seeds, and to Calm Lamity, our harp dev who composed the songs for you all. And I hope you all have a good evening. Demi, Leonhardt, please take it away.
I don't know how to follow that.
Thank you very much, Scala. And Demi's right, that's a tough act to follow, but we will do our best.
And just to give you a little bit of a rundown on the runners before we get started, BursikBadger was one of the newer runners to Free Enterprise, came into running in the most recent event, Fabul Gauntlet. valvalisskunk is one of our primary restreamers. They've been around for quite some time. Some very solid results across the last two events. They, of course, they did not have a great run at the Fabul Gauntlet because they had some personal issues and dropped out. But they will always put on a great show. ZoeVermilion kind of in the same boat as Bursik, fairly new. They have no major events, but they've been hitting up the weekly scene. sylverfyre, of course, one of the strongest Dragon Warrior / Final Fantasy I randomizer runners out there with top 8s in both of those randomizers, also has a top 32 in the first Zima Zone. It's been around for over 2 years, and is my normal 2v2 partner, and so I am not rooting for them, I promise.
Appreciate you being impartial, but we wouldn't hate you if you. We would understand.
I love all 4 of these runners. They're all fantastic.
Absolutely. All amazing. All amazing people. And we are getting started.
We've got a black mage. We've got a dragoon, and we got a real power start. We've got a lunar boss here, and we're going to start with a silent staff. So we got a blank to open up. Likely to see that getting probably sold for cash by our runners, but oftentimes in 2v2 that may not be the case because our teams will be splitting up the work because they can share information. So they won't be going to the same location. We should see them peel off in just a moment.
Yeah, they both know what they're doing with this team race, and it's a big advantage to be able to split up the early game, clear different things, and let each other know, hey, this spot's worth going to specifically for this, or don't bother coming here, not worth your time.
Real quick, guys, while the runners get started, I just want to read off a couple of donations that came in toward the end of the last run that we didn't get to mention. We had Wag the Dog, who donated $19.83. He says, just to make the save, kill, taunt poll an even 1,000. I appreciate that very much because I love those nice, easy, round numbers. They just soothe my soul. We also had Leaf Otter with a $25 donation that said, surely with all the shooting in Borderlands, we can afford to dole some out to Face McShooty. We do have that incentive going on right now to shoot Face McShooty in the face. If I have to say that more than twice tonight, I'm going to screw it up. But yeah, let's keep those donations rolling in. And back to you guys.
I think in the interim we saw there was a the major pickup in Dempsey Castle, which is the castle north of Baron. There was a sorcerer shirt. There's also a poison axe waiting in Baron, so we've got gear for the team at least a little bit here. Poison axe, 1 negative, low accuracy, but hits real hard.
Yep, and if they find Sid, that's about the best he can do, other than maybe a Runix, but our Dragoon will not mind swinging that around.
So we've got Sylverfyre peeled off for Mist Village. Valvalis is starting shop checks going to Toria. Zoe's making a check in Mysidia, and BursikBadger is going to look for the Football Gauntlet here and find some guards instead. So we know that the Kaipo guards are off the table. They are sitting in a waterfall, taking a shower.
All right, just real quick, we've had a couple more donations come in right now. Solus the Wolf sent us $100. God, thank you so much, Solus. Says, had a good night for delivery. Here's some love. Also, let's show how great furries are and that 5,000 and more. Much love to you, and get that 5,000 and more. Much love to you all. We are sitting at 46.39.27 right now, so yeah, we are getting really close to that $5,000. We have another donation from True Faye the something. Your donation name got cut off for me, but $50. It says, it's Kupo time. Kupo. Good luck to all the runners, and don't forget the Moogles. Kupo.
Kupo. Awesome. Bursik has found a in Antlion Cave, and we will be seeing him quickly equipping that to our Dragoon here. And what that's going to do for him is it's going to back row glitch. And the way that works is there are certain weapons in Final Fantasy IV that allow characters to deal the same damage from the back row, where they're more protected. Once a character has such a weapon in their hands, the game never takes this ability away from them.
Yep. Also, Zoe located a really important item in shops for the possibility of later agility manipulation, which is black magic, which we won't really talk much about because I've been playing this for over 2 years and it still confuses the heck out of me, but there are curse rings for sale in Mysidia. Needless to say, it can be a way to adjust your team's agility so that one character basically sacrifices all of their turns so that everybody else does get to take turns.
I hate to pop up on you guys, but Valvalis just found the Football Gauntlet in the Antlion Cave.
Yes, indeed. And they've reset back to their save to better prepare themselves.
Yeah, that is there, and that is actually in the Mist Cave. That's not even an Antlion Cave. That's at one of the external boss checks. Bursik found a boss that no item was a wizard hat for the kill in Antlion Cave. I missed which boss it was.
I missed it as well, but we're about to find out from Zoe.
We're also going to get to see the character on top of Hobbs for Bursik here, so if it's Edward, that's 2 objectives in the books already.
But no, it's Rydia and an Octomon.
Oh, it's Dancing Dolls Calbrina here, so that's right. Bursik burnt off that big bomb on them, which Zoe is doing the exact same thing, just cashing out an item to get this over with right away. Fight's gonna just drop and move on, get out of here. You'll probably notice, though, that Valvalis and Syl will never end up going into Antlion Cave, except if maybe to grab a couple of the chests. Maybe they want the Dwarf Axe, maybe they want a couple of the other things. Because, well, getting a Wizard Hat here is kind of useless.
Yeah, definitely a time to call out to your partner. Not worth the trip. Except, like you said, maybe for that dwarf.
And so it looks like Team Red over there, they are prioritizing the character check right now, because they have decided that it is going to be a good idea to send both runners up Mount Hobbs to get Rydia here. Bursik has finished off the squid and getting a little bit of experience on Palom, which Sylverfyre just did the same, and Zoe's going to do the same here. Valvalis is having a bit of a time of it here with this particular fight. A little bit slow, you know, with only the level 1 elemental spells. Not getting a ton of experience because these are, like, literally fights from the start of the game. You can speed it up with that Blizzard Spear, though. You can use Blizzard Spear to cast a fixed damage Ice 2 on all of the enemies, and it will be enough to clean them up.
That's some spicy tech right there. You don't see that often. Meanwhile, Bursik is going to check the west side of Hobbs immediately after getting Rydia. No surprise. See what the free summon is. But that looks like an imp. Womp
That
womp.
there is an imp. The weakest summon in the game. Yeah.
Feels bad. Feels bad.
Still going to buy a pair of Dancing Daggers here in the city as well, which I believe Zoe had also found, so going to use that for early offense. Going to grab a Curse Ring for potential shenanigans later. And just going to move on from here.
All the runners in about the same spot in the game, having made a lot of the same basic shopping and early checks, so not much coming out in the way of divergence. But that will change up as the seed.
Yeah, the only major differential point here right now for our teams is that the Fubble Gauntlet has been located by Bursik and Valvalis and has not been located by Zoe and Sylverfyre. Neither of them have checked any of the alternate boss spots that normally don't do anything other than be a boss spot. So until that happens, then they won't have that knowledge.
Zoe's settling down to take a look, possibly running full bull defense or possibly just shops. We shall.
So what's up with that weird-looking gauntlet? Well, Gambit, that weird-looking gauntlet is actually a new flag called Alternate Gauntlet that came out with the most recent release, and basically what it does is that instead of pulling just the guards that you normally see and the enemies that you normally see during the Fubble Gauntlet scene in the vanilla game, what it ends up doing is it pulls the enemies from the area that you're in, anywhere from, as you saw, like imps and sandworms to, if you do it at the Masamune altar at the bottom of the lunar core, you see red dragons and evil masks and everything in between. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the great parts and a flag that I am always happy to see show up. Sylverfyre taking a loot of the Tower of Zot. There is one trap chest randomly showing up somewhere in the Tower of Zot, and that trap chest could well have a key item. So You're probably going to be looking for that and seeing what's behind the flame.
Speaking of key items, we've got the Fubal Gauntlet bonus round today, as the Mist Dragon has shown up early and often. So this will be great to mop up as well for our runners, and they don't have to worry about finding the Mist Dragon. This is shaping up to be a pretty quick seed at this point.
You say that now, but seeds can get trolling. And what that means by the bonus round is that the key item shuffling leaves out a spot for where Edward normally gives you the Twin Harp in the vanilla game. Since that's free and accessible, it's kicked out, and instead that key item belongs to Rydia's mom, who is sunbathing in mist, but in order to get her to come out and sunbathe, you have to take out the Dragon Mist boss.
Speaking of key items, first key item is located in the run in the Tower of Zot in the 4th floor center is a rat's tail. So, not useful yet without the hook, can't turn it in, but hey, you found it. Good job.
Real quick, guys, we've had a $50 donation come in from Infinius, who says, "Free Enterprise is my first foray into anything closest to speedrunning. I started doing it myself after watching a lot, and I do mean a lot, of races, and the community has been welcoming to me. So thank you for that donation, Infinius."
Alright, so the boss here at the top of the tower was Dr. Luggage, so sylverfyre is not going to fight that. Was not going to find Mist Dragon, but probably already knew that as well, because that probably was communicated across the void.
Yeah, probably just a quick boss check for information. See a boss there, know that you're not going to find it anywhere.
Yep, Spoon there from the Mist Dragon spot check. Looks like Zoe is flying towards Mist. Gonna probably make that drop off. Maybe check the boss. Would be a great double check here.
Always nice in these runs when you have multiple things that you can accomplish in the same area. It's a big part of keeping your routing efficient and getting things done.
Oh, Hardened Japanese Steel. That's a Masamune. The best weapon in Final Fantasy 1. It boasts 62 attack power, 10% crit rate, and plus 50%... Wait, wrong game. Shoot. Sorry, my mistake.
Signals crossed. That being said, it is an excellent weapon for the ninja in the game, should we find the ninja. It does speed him up and packs quite a... Bursik is setting up for Mount Ordeals. 3 different bosses in a row, and a key item check afterward.
Yeah, so both Bursik and sylverfyre on that check right now. And of course, Zoe has walked away from the boss at the Mist Cave right now, so Team Red will not know that the gauntlet is there. First boss on the mountain, though, we've got the trio. We've got the Mega Sisters.
The Mage Sisters are a mage type, so I believe that Rydia, while still a child, could grab that Silent Staff, though at those low levels, I'm not sure how well it would do compared to just waving and dancing.
Yeah, I mean, using the Dancing Dagger as an item is a much more sensible call here, because it will actually do a significant amount of damage, but on both sides, they've already got characters dead. sylverfyre, I think, intentionally. But the magic damage at this spot is enough on this party that this is actually kind of dangerous. Characters are getting one shot left and right, and the Mega Sisters are claiming some kills here.
They do know how to do their work. They coordinate well as a team, bouncing spells off the walls and hitting them directly at the characters. And yep, Bursik takes the hit and is going to go for another attempt.
Bursik, though, did buy a Mute Dagger, it looks like, for 10 grand, and is going to put that to good use as the Mute Dagger will slay. Will slay mages, will hit for 4 times damage, assuming that Kane does not get killed.
And Bursik's going straight after the little sister, the one that's in charge of all the spellcast.
Yeah, I mean, doing really good damage to the middle sister. Does have to be aware, though, that when the middle sister dies, the front and back sisters do have different scripts. The front sister will start casting low-level elemental magic. The back sister will open up by casting Charm, which can be really dangerous on your party potentially. This is the nightmare scenario right now, because now you need the kid to land an attack on Kane to unloosen him there, because otherwise he's just going to, because the sisters won't attack anymore.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised to see Kane betraying his party, but it would appear that Alum has good enough armor to just soak the hits and try and carry the fight.
Yeah, Zoe was in the Baron Inn, took out the orbs, and then tried to DPS race the second boss, which is Bahamut. Didn't throw up a Star Veil, might not have one, and therefore ended up catching a Mega Nuke and wiped out there, so a little bit of time lost there. Valvalis is now checking, and we'll get the Rat Tail in just a moment. And it looks like Sylverfyre has bailed out for Fabul, while Bursik has used that Mute Dagger to good effect and worked through the sisters. So down go the Megas 3 on Bursik's side.
And after that, Bursik will go on and see who the second boss is after a bit of recovery. This boss will attack from behind. He knows this, so we're going to see him switch his formation around. Anticipate.
Oh, Gambit correcting me that Zoe did throw a Star Veil, but threw it so early that it just fell off, because the second spot in Baron Inn is one of the slowest spots in the game, because it's the scripted fight with Yang. Second boss on the mountain is free, so Bursik is going to give Team Blue their first kind of lead of the run here, actually making progress on Ordeals, where Sylverfyre was rebuffed. Valvalis is going to catch up the check in Tower of Zot here and get that Rat Tail. And Zoe's getting back to work here in the Baron Inn.
Sure, they're quite happy to find CPU here in this spot. There are some spots where it's a long, long grind because of the way this boss handles its script to get through it, and in such a low spot here, not in.
On the flip side of the coin, for being a really grindy fight, it's not really honestly a dangerous fight per se. Like, you can kind of get away with just taking it out nearly anywhere. It just requires a little bit of setup and some patience.
Absolutely not. Pretty much anywhere you find it. As long as you've got rudimentary healing, you're going to get through the fight. You just might not feel it was worth it afterwards with how long.
Real quick, we've had a donation come in from Moo for $4.20. Says, just say my name twice. Normally I'd be obstinate and refuse, but because we are raising money for Global Giving's COVID-19 Relief Fund, Moo. Also, we've had it asked in chat if we have any incentives for this run. We do not have any open incentives for this run, but we do have 2 open for our next run, Borderlands 2. We have one for the Glitch Expedition. We're just under $300 on that, and that is a $400 goal, so we're getting really, really close. And then we have the goal to shoot Face McShooty in the face, which, if we're going to be honest, is probably the only way to handle somebody named Face McShooty. That incentive's only at $30 out of $200, so we can really make some headway on that one. And if we get both those incentives, we are going to meet our second objective of $5,000 for the entire event. So let's go ahead and get those donations in. We are really, really close to doing some real good here.
Thank you so much. It's such a good cause, honestly. I mean, there's just so much going on out there in the world today that your donations, of course, are going to help out immensely. So thank you all so very much. As a quick update, at the top of the Mountain of Light, there was the Crystal of Darkness. So we've got the Black Rock for BursikBadger. So he has got Moon Access at this point. We've got Valvalis working through said problems here at Baron Inn now. Zoe's cleared out Baron Inn. Didn't catch the character that she picked up, but Sylverfyre did find the Gauntlet, so Gauntlet is located and being taken apart now.
And that Darkness Crystal is going to give us a big opportunity for divergence if the runners feel up to it. The encounters on the moon, the bosses are some of the toughest boss spots, and the trap chests are certainly no joke, but it's entirely possible that given the team nature of this, that one of the runners might go up there and just see if there's a boss that's been dealt into one of those spots that they can slip past and find a useful item. We shall see. Blue team does this information momentarily.
Yeah, but it looks like Zoe has gotten Sid, gotten the Sand Ruby, but also has found the first encounter chest here and is trying to do some damage to this grouping here. Staleman 4 Skulls used up a Stardust and did not kill, and only killed 1 skull. 3 of them are pretty much near critical at this point, so they should all be dying pretty soon. So that'll be really interesting to see. Valvalis got the wall down, so Valvalis is going to end the Reign of the Dragon here.
And that'll bring Sid onto Valvalis' team. Meanwhile, Bursik is going to the Tower of Wishes to raise the big whale with the Darkness Crystal. At a minimum, I would expect him to head up to the moon and get another character, probably check the shop there. Anything more?
Possibly hair dryers if an hourglass is located, but that would be about the extent of that. So we got a crystal ring for Zer Troubles there, which is of course fantastic. It is the best ring in the game. It gives you paralysis protection. It adds 5 agility. It gives you an immense amount of magical and physical resistance as well.
Absolutely a ring that you can put on someone and they can proudly wear it through to the end of the season.
And it's possibly the only piece of gear that you could put on somebody, and that somebody will be well enough protected that it's probably not a concern. And there's Zoe locating a lightsaber here in the Evelyn Castle left tower. Fantastic piece of gear. It's the 3rd best sword for Cecil in the game. 99% accuracy, plus 5 strength. Adds a decent amount of attack power as well. So pretty solid all the way.
The only catch right now, Cecil is the only person that can use it. Gotta find.
I mean, they can't all be winners, right?
True. Bursik has picked up Sylph. Probably from the shop, although I didn't quite catch that. Sylph is a terrific summon early on. It damages whatever you target it and spreads the damage amongst your party as healing, and the best part is that it's free.
Well, you do need to have 25 MP on your Rydia to be able to cast it, but again, it does spectacular damage. It does virus level damage to a target, which is always really nice. We've got Zoe using virus to pick off the black cats here one at a time. Sylverfyre is going to go ahead and pick up the Sand Ruby character here to extend their party a little bit more. And they are going to locate, is that another black mage? Do we have a duplicate kid here?
I believe you're right about that, but Bursik has found a ninja on the Lunarian.
We got hardened Japanese steel, and we've got edge in the same seed. Weird.
Not only hardened Japanese steel, but a mute knife in the offhand. I could almost feel bad for the mage bosses that Bursik is going to run into.
Yeah, so Sylverfyre is going to be on the mage composition plan for the moment, at least with Rydia and Double Palom. Bursik, of course, has a character that can very easily get through a lot of the tougher content in the game, but first things first, Bursik is going to make a play that I like making on this T-Pro, where the treasure chests scale with the location that you're in, and it's going to check these fairly free chests in Cave Bahamut. The loot level here is pretty good, so there's a chance of getting some very high-level gear here, potentially. Again, since boxes are completely randomized, you might still get absolutely nothing, but you could still score something pretty big here. I mean, longsword the best of it, so not a big deal.
Right, and undoubtedly also going to lean over here and Golbez, noping right out of that. Walking.
I mean, as places go, probably not the scariest place to find Golbez. The Bahamut spot is actually fairly low on magic attack, so I'm actually honestly pretty excited to see Golbez there. There's a chance that Bursik is going out to save to actually do the fight. Doesn't look like it, though. We got
Valvalisskunk. Magic attack being that low and coming into it, well, you've got an edge for damage, but he's still base level. So the catch is going to be that you can't rely on his bounced spells to take himself out. You've got to do a lot of damage to make that happen.
This is very true. So Zoe's going to give us a look. So we had found a crystal ring. We found the fight that Valvalisskunk has a crystal gauntlet behind it, and this is the third fight, was the Mad Ogres. So gonna locate a Drain Spear, so we got the Drain Spear hype here. But there's Strength Ring, that's at least useful. And a Full Moon, which, since we know that Edge is in the seed, that'll also be useful. And a Siren! And a Power Shirt! Wow, Right Tower's got the money.
I am speechless. The loot in that tower is pretty amazing. That's another thing about T-Pro, is it's going to ratchet up the loot for dangerous areas that have trap chests, like Castle Eblin, but even so, that's an amazing find, and we see Sylverfyre immediately going to the right side.
Yeah, Zoe probably gave them the good word and said, "Yo, hey, you want a power shirt? You want some armor? You want a strength ring? You want to skip that encounter chest?" Good God, yeah, that's good communication right there too. Power shirt, siren, strength ring. That's a lot of strength.
There will be some amazing ninja slicing and dicing in the future, I suspect.
Yep, so red team has cleaned out Eblin completely. Valvalis is on the hunt right now for the other two encounter chests. We'll again get a crystal ring for all of their troubles here. We've got Zoe now up on the mountain searching through. Of note, I just realized something. I realized something terrifying. Terrifying and wonderful.
That K unsafe has come into play?
K unsafe is in play. Yes, we've checked every key item location on the Earth. We've checked them all. We know them all. We've seen them all. And between all of them, there was no access to the underground. So now our runners are going to show off some real high skill here, because we got to get through one of the tougher setups in the game, which is required moon before underground.
And normally the randomizer promises that you will not have to be put through this agony, but part of the challenge of this flag set is that K unsafe flag, where that promise is retrieved.
Yeah, so now our runners are going to have to show off some skill in grinding, because, of course, taken away from our runners is the ability to do things like D-machine grinding, because they have all agreed to no Tella and no Fusoya, so no early weak spell. So grinding is going to get interesting when all of our teams are up on the moon.
And S-Pro is going to hide the sirens away from the team until far later, so that option is out. But there are skilled runners, they know their stuff, and I expect that they will figure it out, and we'll get the joy of watching them show up.
Yeah, it's going to sting a lot, of course, when Syl sees this up here. Both Syl and Zoe are going to get the Darkness Crystal fairly near to each other. Bursik is going to grab some of the gear there from Fabul, it looks like, or excuse me, from Eblin here, and then move on while Valvalis goes to get the Darkness Crystal, because Bursik and Val have the writing on the wall all put together. They know they got to go up top.
Gambit pointing out in chat, find me a Zeus Gauntlet and Mech Giant grind. And yes, with the Zeus Gauntlet, I expect that everyone would charge straight to the Giant of Babil for that grind. So we'll see if one pops.
I think the problem with that particular grind is just hitting hard enough. I don't know if these teams really do hit hard enough yet for that particular grind, honestly. Reaction grind could be interesting, but it's slow. One of the major plays that a lot of runners will make is they'll just go down to the bottom and check for free bosses. Just dive right into the lunar subterranean and see if there's like a free boss at the ribbon spot for 100,000 experience points, which is super significant.
Yes. Either a truly free boss, like King Queen Eblin, or a boss that's free to you for your gear. If someone were to find a Moonveil, for instance, that makes a lot of bosses that you're at least able to get. Helmet Grimoire is good times. Grimoire, when it's used as an item, randomly selects a summon and sends it at your enemy, and there's none better.
I just get frustrated whenever anybody gets Bahamut, because it's not me getting it, because I never get it.
Just gotta try it.
Alright, so Zoe's located the Darkness Crystal, has probably sent that information along to Syl, and now it is time for some frenzied preparation for all four runners to head on up top to the moon in just a moment. So all of those early checks, any sort of early gain or early time gains are kind of going to the wayside here. Bursik ends up passing up all the chests on top and does not get that power shirt, does not get that strength ring. Maybe a bit of a drop communication line there, but we shall see.
Real quick, we've had a couple donations come in. Frith42 has donated $25. They say, donating in hopes of seeing the rudest of rude rabbit holes, of course. Good luck to all the runners. And we've also had $20 from Tornado with no comment, but we appreciate that $20 all the same. Also want to bring it to your guys' attention, we've had 2 new polls open up. We have the language bid war for Untitled Goose Game open, so you can choose whether we're going to be honking in Russian, Polish, Korean, French, or English. I'm pretty sure those all sound about the same, but hey, it should be fun. We also have the seed name for Lena's Inception open, so you can bid to choose what the seed name is for that.
Awesome. Thank you all for the donations. Frith, I hope that K unsafe being in play satisfies your appetite for rudeness, but we will also see if any rabbit holes.
I mean, this is going to be pretty rude for our runners. But yeah, so all 4 runners have the Darkness Crystal. We have a full clean out of... We know where everything is right now. Bursik is wrapping up by picking up a couple more things here in Castle Leblanc. Syl racing down the mountain, chasing Valvalis down the mountain. Zoe is checking that shop on top of the moon and finds, again, Sylph Summon. Nothing else really of interest there. I guess exits would be okay with this party because you don't have an exit caster. But otherwise not ideal here.
Yeah, I would certainly pick up a few exits if I was contemplating diving the moon. But the self is obviously the most significant find.
Has not yet checked the character, though, so does not know that Edge is on the way, but thankfully did not sell hardened Japanese steel, so...
I think
And
that Zoe had sold the steel and found an edge and wasn't able... We'd either hear a very loud scream all the way across the channel, or possibly a deep reset.
But looks like was not sold, so in just a moment things will be much better on Zoe's side of the screen, and Syl is probably about to do about the same thing that Zoe just did. Bursik doing that redive, gonna get his hands on the goods in the business here that we were talking about just a minute.
So Bursik picking up what Valvalis skipped on, probably letting them know, hey, you missed a power shirt.
No, I didn't miss the power shirt, but I don't. You can see Sylverfyre flying towards the shop, getting told, "Hey, wait, stop," and then go pick up the character first, because that is an edge. Also, I think all of our runners have a full moon as well at this point for their edge, so edge will carry the back row glitch as well.
The only catch there, and all our runners know this and will not mess this up, is that Edge has weapons in both hands, and you have to make sure to put the boomerang in his right hand to make the blip.
So Sylverfyre does not have the Masamune because I believe they never grabbed it, but that's alright. And knowing still they probably sold it. So first things first is with their level 23 Palom, Zoe's opening fire here on the hairdryer chest on the moon here. Quakes the front two down, the back two are still kicking, but again in critical health.
There will be much longer for this world, and we'll get to see if there's a key item in that trap chest, or just some more shiny.
Also looking at Sylverfyre's inventory, at some point they also did locate a ribbon helmet, which gives you protection from most status effects, and much like the Crystal Ring, a massive, massive boost to your stats defensively. And of course, speaking of upgrades, there's a Gungnir Lance. That's a lance that Kain gets when you find him in the Giant in the vanilla storyline. Not a key item, but a fairly hard-hitting weapon, and gives you 10 vitality as well, so it makes Kain a anti-physical truck.
Sylverfyre coming right in behind to take care of that chest as well. And Valvalis over on the blue team is already...
Yeah, the Gungnir's not super, super exciting, but the experience is the big draw here, because it's a pretty decent chunk of experience here. Sylverfyre, you'll notice, does not have the big Quake spell here, so...
It's going to make it take a bit longer for them to get through this fight.
Oh yeah, no, they're not getting through that without landing a Quake to start the fight, so they need a little bit of a way to jumpstart their kid here, so... Looks like they've decided to go back to Earth to do this, so you know, a bit safer than trying to reaction grind, but going to try and pick up some experience on the ground for the kid to get him up to 23.
All right, I'm going to apologize real quick for what you guys are about to hear, but we have had a $20 donation from Anonymous who says, "Fly me to the moon because of K unsafe." So, yeah, there was that.
More singing. One
God,
more.
please no.
Alright, so we have... This still actually ends up resetting back to the moon, has a save on the moon, and is going to go into Cave Bahamut here. We'll see what's going on down here at this point in time. Might be to... Oh, doing the setup. Gonna toad the own party there.
And
Oh, no.
that is Vanilla paled him at Valvalis. Valvalis is...
Nasty hard hitter there. Gonna slow your party down a bunch. That's bad. Zoe goes back and checks the chest that we've named after Sylverfyre and I've named after myself, and she gets a very rude greeting in the bottom of the gets the rudest possible greeting here in the lunar subterrane, finding 2 red dragons who are going to probably make quick work of her party eventually here.
Sylverfyre choosing to take on that Golbez and has turned their entire party into pigs. For the very simple reason that, according to FF4, pigs are immune to prey.
Yep, you can only have one status effect at a time, so when they try to apply the second one to you, it doesn't stick. So yeah, you end up becoming very much immune to the paralysis status effect, which lets you set up star veils and everything. I think the only problem again with this spot is that the spell output is not very high, so it's kind of not great.
And it's also one of the biggest hit point spots in the game, so it's going to take a while to whittle away the Golbez. But when you're dealing with K unsafe, you take what you can get.
I mean, it's a pretty nice chunk of experience at least, so there is that. But Valvalis is the one who's making the run to the bottom, as we mentioned before.
Firebird Lover asking in chat and getting the answer. Alt Gauntlet was at Demonist, and that's the objective that's been taken.
Oh, down there at the ribbon spot is Dark Knight Cecil. This is doable with a little bit of grind. Gonna try and Cure 2 up Sid and Edge, but this second wave is gonna do the deed. So Valvalis gets dropped by Pain Man himself, the Dark Knight Cecil, Master of Disaster, the man with the plan.
With Cure 2s, there is one Cure 3 in the inventory, so I'm not as bold as Valvalis. I would probably be content to get one person through, but that is also probably why I'm not quite as good.
Where's Edward when you need him? Not here.
This is a great boss to have in Edward. No doubt
Let's
about
see.
that.
826, does Sid survive the shot? Does, with 4 hit points. This Cure 3 is going to go off, and Valvalis is going to get through this fight. Very nice.
Well played indeed. Bunch of experience. If the turn comes too slow, Sid.
No, well,
Wondering if
Sid had
another
to-
turn in.
Sid had to land the Cure 3, and Sid is slow as slime, so it wasn't going to happen.
I can dream. I always have hope.
Sid going to get buffed, but more importantly, 2 key item checks. It's a Magma Key and a... Oh, wow. All right, real gas found. Magma Key Bahamut summon.
So much power. And Valvalis is probably shouting to Bursik, go to the ribbon, move!
It's always the rook, and I hate this game. Moving on, though. Yeah, so Syl is going to take a second bite of the old the old Golbez fight here got dropped the first time when the walls went down, because, again, you got to put out some damage here, so this is probably not ideal. And Valvalis finds a free boss at the other location down there as well, finds King and Queen of Blonde, so gonna raise the party up, put a little bit of healing into them, and then take out that freebie too. Zoe not ready for the amount of damage that Dark Knight Cecil is putting out there at that spot. When Valvalis did it, they had dropped their battle speed to 4, set up their items properly to give themselves enough buffer time.
King Queen emblems on the screen as runners begin to convert. This is, let's say, the freest boss in the game. You just let them cast their fire 1s and fire 2s and wait for them to off themselves. If they're in a weaker spot and you think that takes too long, you can still go ahead and take.
Maybe you grab a drink, you make sure you stay hydrated. That's important. It's for your health. You gotta stretch. This is a good time for a stretch break. You know, you just need to, like, talk to somebody offline or something. Now's the time.
And then giving us some tunes in chat. Let's go down to the Hades. Let's go down to the Hades. Let's go down to the Hades. And have ourselves an apple snap.
I need some experience points at least. But now, so SylverFyre has just gotten Palom through this at this point in time, and Palom's going to cast some Fire 2s because Golbez, interestingly enough, is weak against fire magic. Going to try and pump out enough damage here to get the job done.
The vanilla game tailors its weaknesses to the hero of the story at times. About the time you find Golbez, you've recently picked up a fire sword and put it on Cecil, and so the game has decided to let him show off.
At that point, you also, interestingly enough, get Rydia in your party, who learns her level 2 magic, so you end up getting that as well. So that exists as a potential option to get the job done as well. Bursik's Sid is not quite as stacked with hit points as was Valvalis's. So we'll see if this ends up working out. Syl, of course, gets dropped by Golbez a second time here, not turning out too terribly well. And Zoe's going to go check the Ogopogo spot down at the bottom of the moon. The only boss we haven't seen yet on the moon that would be my favorite spot, the Wyvern spot.
I didn't see the Wyvern spot, but Gambit has mentioned in chat that Odin is at Wyvern. Meanwhile, Valvalis having to walk up the LST. I do that so rarely that whenever I'm required to do it, it confuses me and I have no idea where.
Oh, we've got Rubik into the Ogopogo spot, so don't physically attack. Okay, yeah, let the leg day memes begin. Don't directly physically attack Rubik into the spot unless you want to get hit by a Fire 2 that does spectacular amounts of damage.
At this spot, anyway. But anything other than the actual fight command is safe. You can jump, you can throw darts. If you have Yang, you can use power. Just don't actually use fight. And for the love of whatever you believe in, don't use the.
Yeah, SylverFyre is Earthbound here. Going to try and get a little bit more experience. Knowing that Dark Knight Cecil is down there, still is an experienced enough runner to be able to take that sort of fight out. But, you know, clearly needs these experience points to make the magic happen here. Crystal Ring not going to hurt the cause either. That dart of the the Drain Spear, by the way. Drain Spear, one of the highest physical attack weapons in the game, ends up doing 8,000 damage almost.
Drain Spear hike. Valvalis dropping the magma key into the well to blow up the volcano, and will be the first runner to explore the
Yeah, so getting up to the moon, it looked like Team Red had taken a bit of an edge over Team Blue, but that seems to have flipped at this point in time, as Valvalis' underground access has opened up in this game and has taken the lead.
It can turn quickly, especially with objectives still to be found. Looks like a lot of race to go, and I'm excited to see how it turns out and what other twists the seed has in store for us.
Absolutely, surely not over yet at this point in time. Zoe, though, Team Red not making a ton of headway on these moon bosses here, though. That glare is going to end Zoe's team for their time here, and sylverfyre, they are again grinding up on Earth here because experience is kind of at a premium right now.
Valvalis, meanwhile, finding Ogopogo, or as he's affectionately known in this community, the Nope Noodle, at the front of Dwarfcat.
Yeah, Quake gonna do good damage, but the Blaze counter is gonna put the party on, well, not quite on ice, but definitely on fire, as Valvalis takes a wipe here.
Well, both ice and fire, because, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Blaze is hold-based. So your comment of putting the team on ice, quite appropriate.
Zoe's looking to scrape up a little bit of extra experience here. I think, yeah, she's trying to reaction grind here. You're looking for fights with grenades in them, or she's just going to quake some enemies either way. But if you find a pack with a grenade in it, you cast Lit 1 on a single target grenade. That grenade will use the reaction ability and slay the entire enemy party for you, free of charge, no effort required.
It's not a grind you see often, because often there are other options that are more efficient, but having all options in your playbook and knowing when it's time to go to them is the hallmark of a good play.
I mean, that's the big thing about this game. There's a ton of options that you've got. It's just a matter of wielding them to your best. So it looks like we've got Valvalis taking on Ogopogo again. Gonna drop another Quake here. And this time gets the job done with a 3300. Yeah, and sylverfyre is set up and is casting Stop on the Mad Ogre to have Edge steal Bacchus Wines here. So sylverfyre looking for a bit of a potential later damage boost here as well. I'm gonna try and do some stealing here and get themselves some very important items that are hard to come by otherwise.
Yes, showing off some more great tech. Bacchus Wines, very prized for their ability to have somebody cast Berserk on themselves, which turns them into a super fast, super strong fighting machine. This flag set makes it hard to find them in shops, so being able to steal them off an encounter and knowing where to steal them from is another fine piece of knowledge being displayed. Valvalis has gotten through Dwarf Castle, and we will soon be finding out if Luca is wearing something sensible for a necklace, like a ribbon, or something bizarre, like an
Oh, she's got a key. It's a slightly different key. It's actually a key that's really useful right now. It is the key to the super cannon in the tower.
So, sensible dwarven fashions.
Yep.
Bursik, meanwhile, taking on Dark Knight Cecil, should be able to get through. They can get another heal off it.
Did not get the Cure 3 queued up fast enough and ends up dropping. That's a tough spot. So now you got Valvalis, though. Part of going into the tower here is there's 4 encounter chests that have alerts in them. If you're thinking quickly, and Valvalis is not thinking about this, you can steal sirens from these alerts. Finds a white shirt, which would be great if we ever get a white mage. Porum, where are you?
White shirt, another one of those fine pieces of defensive gear that you can wear right to the end. We'll see. Valvalis might just be saving the steals for the final chest, or it might have passed them by, but we should.
Yeah, otherwise Valvalis has the Thunderclaw and is just dumpstering these in one shot. Masamune plus Thunderclaw is about hitting for around 4k on these 1400 hit point alerts.
Mecha asking in chat, and Moonblaze confirming that yes, while Kydia is still Rydia, and that's Kydia, Child Rydia is still able to use white magic and can therefore still equip a lot of the white mage gear.
Yeah, it looks like Zoe's come back to Earth as well. So our intrepid heroes here on the red team are having a bit of trouble right now with the block that's keeping them out of the underground. Team Blue has broken through. Bursik is going to get the Bahamut summon and the magma key. So infinite dragon power as well as access to the underground again. So blue team now taking a solid lead. Valvalis has not transmitted any other information on any good stuff down here in terms of encounter chests. But Valvalis is now still searching the tower.
And that might also have been some of Valvalis' thoughts with punching out the alerts. Punch out 3 alerts, find out the loot, tell my partner, steal off the last one.
Well, Dragoon armor is excellent. Probably the best piece of armor in the game, but not quite what we're looking for here. Sylverfyre is going to end up going up, probably hunting the last arm chest, as they've decided to go moonward here and go to the Giant of Babel.
Last arm chest has an amazing chance to get loot of the highest quality. So anyone going through the Giant of Babel, not only, even if it doesn't end up having a key item, will probably have some.
Yeah, Valvalis is going to take on the Baigan fight here at the top of the tower, so not a bad find here per se. This bot just does not hit very hard, honestly. Excuse me, that was the super cannon, I apologize. Went into the cannon first and did not do top of the tower.
Sylverfyre encountering the most difficult boss in the game, the inventory boss.
I thought it was Fabul Gauntlet at the Ogopogo spot, but you know, maybe this one's pretty tough too.
It's subtle. You think everything's under control, and all of a sudden it shows up, and everything just, your time just starts.
That's fair. I'm not good at subtlety.
And Sylverfyre has found the last arm.
Yep. Palom had no MP, but Palom also going to catch a stop, so not a big deal there.
One of the fun things to do to the last arm, if you can pull it off, is to slip a wall on the character right after they're searched and watch the magnet bounce back to the last arm. And
Magnet is a very long-term stop, so just locks the character out for quite some time. Or you can just lock last arm out and just kill it horrendously. So we've got the 4 elements at the top of the tower. We know this because, of course, we saw Rubicante already. So we'll see how Valvalis's quartet takes care of this. It looks like, looking down the dart list, going to unload a shuriken here.
Bursik, thank you very much for being the people's hero and checking in on our job dwarf. The job dwarf in the vanilla game is very happy to tell you that he's a farmer, and in the randomizer, he has a different job.
So Bursik locating the warrior chest here, little problem at 1 hit point. Has to reset back to the top of the top of the land of summon monsters. We got a pan for Valvalis, so doing the tower is super profitable at this point in time, even if the chests weren't great. Zoe finding Odin here at the Woodford spot, and Odin doing just Odin things, I guess, which is to say, dumpstering each of your party members in turn, and then raising his sword to the sky and delivering the final blow to everybody. Okay, never mind. Wyvern spot is terrible.
Certainly is. Bursik, though, with that warrior chest, more scouting than anything else. There's only one trap chest in this location, and although it might have a key item, for now, he seems content to just safely loot everything else in the area, move on, and leave that.
Alright, and down goes Odin to 2 lightning 3s, and there's just a crystal gauntlet for Zoe's troubles there. The experience is important, but she did a fair bit of grinding on Earth, or on the lunar surface there to get to that point. But still, experience, knowledge, now still knows that they don't need to deal with Odin here. As things get a little bit tense on the moon here.
Vanilla loot of the crystal sword in that location might have been more exciting. Even in the absence of Cecil, he could always show up later. But we do have some vanilla on valvalisskunk screen, as the hook has been.
I mean, the hook normally comes from a plot point in the game rather than a key item, but it is a key item at this point in time, and it came from the tower, so the tower is super good. The tower is full of good and nice things here, so we got the pan checks, we've got... gonna go immediately turn in that rat tail with the hook first, but yeah, we got checks on checks here, so the underground immediately just rips wide open and just gives up the goods for our runners, as Zoe is now scouting encounter chests here on the moon as well. Rat Tail turns into an Excalibur, no Cecil located, so no Holy Sword Wielder at this point in time for all the Excaliburs we've got. Maybe start darting them.
Well, if nothing else, Edge can throw Excalibur at Zeros.
Or at any other really difficult boss that kind of gets in your way. Bursik is getting the bad news down here. We got Yang on one side and Evil Wall on the other, on the thrones of the Land of Summon Monsters, and man, Yang is going to just pummel your party there, and Evil Wall is going to rip through your party as well, so that's not fun times with no weapon.
Begging for a Cecil for Yang, begging for an Edward for that Evil Wall.
I mean, in that spot, I don't know if Evil Wall does enough damage to itself, honestly. It's got a lot of health, and it's not quite going to do enough damage. It's pretty close, honestly. Really what you're looking for that Evil Wall is you're looking for a white mage to cast Blink a bunch so that your DPS can go and do DPS things.
But the Eddy is so much fun. want to hide my Eddie and do that little bit of damage to help it along and watch the evil wall tear itself down. So
I mean, look, there are two teams that I am a part of. I am a part of Team Lobster, and I'm a part of Team White Mage. And if I get the chance to say nice things about a White Mage, guess what I'm gonna do?
I'll think on it.
Yeah, close enough. So it looks like Valvalis is going to take that hook and head on down to the to check the character here in the Cave of Blana here, to see if it is Edward, to see if they have ended their long national nightmare and added on a very important party member, and grabs that looked like a 20-pack of wine. Valvalis wants to get his boys berserk and fighting here, so. There's also two encounter chests here, one in Cave of Blana and one down in Upper Papil, so those two checks would be pretty good too. Sylverfyre is putting that plundered wine to good use here, though, berserking his boys after, or at least berserking Edge after the fact here, so gonna try and get some swings in. Much higher DPS than before. And Zoe, with the extra levels, just needs to pour some Cure 2s into this Sid, so gonna get here the slow way, but gonna get through this just fine here, it looks like.
And Valvalis has found the Stalemen. Should get through this without any sort of trouble and discover pretty loot or special.
And now Zoe's going to get the good news for Team Red here, finally, about the Magma Key and the Bahamut Summon. Staleman gets dumpstered here. And Golbez goes down for Sylverfyre as well, so does make good work of the Dark Man himself, and gets a pink tail. I don't know if our runners are on no adamants or not, but if they're on no adamants, that is a tier 7, a topmost tier piece of gear. Otherwise, it is going to be an adamant armor, which kind of breaks the game, I guess.
So we have a vanilla Edge, and the good news is you have more than one ninja now, if you care to take them, and the bad news is you need twice as many ninjas.
The worst news is that you still need the other Edward. Also, they're playing with no duplicates, so they do not get a second Edge. They get nothing. Oh wait, did Valvalis only have 4 characters? Oh no, Valvalis only had 4 characters. That is a duplicate Edge if they could take him. I did not check that part of the flag set, because I am bad at flag sets. I had Syl send it to me, I promise.
There were a lot of flags to look. We'll get a look at their party soon enough and know one way or the other.
Bursik's located the pass at this point in time, so has added the pass to his inventory here in Sylph Cave. The Sylverfyre's just beelining the bottom right now, going, okay, alright, I gotta get down underground. My party needs experience, we need sirens, we need gear, we need stuff. Oh, pass was Feymarch freebie, so popped it from the Feymarch chest. Okay, so everyone's gonna get the pass for free.
FF4, F3, more flags than the UN. You're not wrong.
Actually, you kind of are wrong. FF4 does not have a lot of flags compared to a lot of the other randomizers out there. Even like Crystallis, which is a relatively new one, actually ends up having similar number of flags. Final Fantasy 1 way outstrips it, as does like Worlds Collide. As does a couple of other of the very mature and long-term randomizers out there. Even Z1 has way more flags than FF4 FE.
Worlds Collide, more flags than the United Federation of Planets?
Seems likely. But yeah, no, I mean, the big thing with for Enterprise, and this is a design thing that I do actually like, is that the flags are generally pretty readable. There's actually like a readable version of the flags, and then there's an encoded version of the flags, which ends up making things a little bit nicer. So, and one of the things that Board and Rivers they tend to sort of lead for in the design is minimizing the number of extraneous flags that exist. You know, if it's something that one or two people are going to use, it's probably not part of the game, honestly. You know, the only thing is maybe with like encounters, but that's even just because it's a nice quality of life thing. Alright, so Sylverfyre does not get through the Dark Knight there with the 1400 hit points. Sid does not get a chance to queue up the necessary Cure 3. A little bit lower level than Zoe was, because Zoe did a bunch of grinding to kind of get through things and kind of stay on top of things at this point.
Bursik still tangling with the trap chests in Sylph Cave. There are 7 different chests in Sylph Cave that are trapped, any of which on this flag set could hold an important key item. Still need a Twin Heart to complete Cave Magnus, and still need a Legend Sword and an Adamant to forge Excalibur. And Edward might be behind a key item as well. Just a defense.
And then there's just a defense sword, which is still a great weapon. It's, you know, possibly Kane's best weapon, honestly. Zoe has actually got good agility right now. The way that things are lined up for Zur, and they're going to be able to deal with these enemies pretty easily, because the Quakes are going off before the Ghosts start casting spells, which is pretty impressive.
Sylverfyre taking random encounters on the moon to beef up for that ribbon room. Finding the Lying Tricker. In case you didn't know, based on his name, he really wants you to cast Thunder on him, and while he is in fact weak to it, it might not be the best one.
Yep, Bursik, of course, unloading with Bahamut here, so just gonna start tangling with these chests as Bursik and Valvalis are now down here in Sylph Cave, clearing out the 2 halves of it. This is a play I've seen plenty. It tends to be a pretty good one. Bacchus Wine from that chest in the 5 chest room, so nothing of great use. Zoe's on North Loop right now, doing the damage tile rooms here. Sylverfyre is still working on getting some levels here. Considering can they get their 1500 HP Sid through, they're looking at no, so they're going to try and grind a little bit more.
When your only tool is Bahamut, every problem looks like a pile of ash.
Zoe gets a Leviathan summon, which is basically a blank at this point in time, out of that particular chest here.
It's a very big pile of cash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's what you need. Zoe's got the 1 hit point Palom problem here, which is that because of these floor tiles here, party members been dying left and right, or at least getting battered down to 1 hit point, which is not great.
It's part of what makes the trap chests here so treacherous. You have to constantly heal between any chest that might prove dangerous, and it's both attacks on the runner in terms of actions and attacks on your resources in terms of healing. But a heroine robe is a nice rule.
Not quite probably what you were looking for at this point in time. You're not really looking maybe to make really a big physical fighter, so probably another thing that could get sold, honestly. Sylverfyre, it looks like they're done and happy with the amount of grind that they've put in here. Zoe's got a couple more chests here on the side, and that's the end of that for counter chests on the North Loop. I'm going to pop back out to the top and save and pop a cabin and probably go back in. Doesn't even bother with the cabin. Bursik locates the Earth Crystal in the Sylph Room, so does get a very important key item, because that is 2 character checks, and when you're looking for a character that's still loose in the world, as character checks go, that one is pretty top tier. And Valvalis only has one edge, so there are no duplicate characters allowed. So only one edge, not really helping the cause any.
Hey, real quick, just to jump in and let people know, we have a Borderlands 2 run coming up after this, and we still have 2 incentives open for that. We have the one for Shoot Face McShooty in the face, which, all things considered, we're about 2 hours away from, give or take. We got a long way to go on that, so that one needs some help. We also have the Glitch Exhibition, which it doesn't need to be met until the end of the Borderlands 2 run, and we are pretty close on that, but we'd love to meet that ahead of time so our runners can go in ahead of time knowing that they're going to be doing that. So if you want to donate to either one of those, in addition, just to seeing more awesome Borderlands 2, which is a great game, your money is also going to be benefiting Global Giving's COVID-19 Relief Fund. It's going to go straight to helping stop the virus's spread and give communities on the front lines of the crisis the resources they need to act quickly and protect the most vulnerable. So if you want to jump in, you can click the donate button below the stream window or just type bang donate into the chat to get the link. So let's get some help for those incentives, guys.
Alright, so Sylverfyre took a reset there. Looks like they need to kind of rearrange their gearing or party or something for that particular fight. Setting up for Dark Knight. Bursik, of course, has the Earth Crystal and is very happily setting up to rush the Tower of Zot right now. Zoe and Valvalis both also about to get that Earth Crystal from the mobile chest here that was inside of the Syl's house.
Bursik will be the first to discover what remains in Tower of Zot. We, of course, have seen Dr. Luggage, Dr. Lugay, as the first boss. We have no idea who the other boss is, or the characters waiting, or the key item. Sylverfyre getting through the ribbon room and acquiring the magma key and immediately exiting out of Ellis. Meanwhile, valvalisskunk turning in Pan back to Sheila, but only finding an Artemis bow and an apple. Sheila does not have the goods to Yes. Lugay taking out the first one is now about to enter the quote-unquote real fight, but I don't think it's going to impress him.
Zoe finds Zoe again with the good agility. I think with the current agility setup is getting these quakes off before enemies can act. So just trashes the warrior chest as well with the quake here. So we're gonna get a look at the warrior chest item, which might be the okay. Well, it's a silent staff. All right, that's unexciting. And so Zoe continues snowballing their experience there, while Sylverfyre, of course, is now. It looks like Sylverfyre's game plan might be we're clearing LST. Syl might be looking for encounter chests here.
Paladin sighted.
Wow. Power upgrade for Bursik here. I guess you could strap an Excalibur to that Cecil and feel pretty good about basically everything forever.
Seems legit. I mean, not to mention the trunk of Bacchus you've been lugging around. And objective. Paladin and Bard.
No, that is a winning combination right there. You don't want to necessarily take the part at this point. You don't have to. You get the objective though, but I think Cecil. Yeah, see, old man, your job is done.
Give a paladin a holy sword, and it will cure a lot of the sins of your party. So a quick bow and arrow equipped to back row glitch.
So he picks up a pile of hourglasses here in the Fey March, while Valvalis looks at this evil wall and goes, "Yeah, I got this. Let's do this." And then Kane gets hit for most of his health total.
Sylverfyre staying on the moon to check the rest of the encounter chests is a play I like. Big thing about 2v2 is splitting up the checks, letting your one partner explore one area while you take on another, and transmitting that information back and forth until you know everything that you need to know.
Yeah, and with hourglasses down, with the one hourglass used on this fight, Sylverfyre does have this fight on lockdown right now, and is going to just take advantage of that fact to use life potions on dying enemies, which basically resurrects an enemy. But they end up resurrecting with 0 HP because of a bit of a code piece where enemies have no vitality, so when they resurrect with no health, but you get the second kill. So Sylverfyre, of course, going to charge up some levels here and get some very important spells on this party. Evil Wall is taking Valvalis. Yeah, this is not pretty. Look away if you're not into violence, because, yeah, this is going to end pretty poorly, it looks like, for Valvalis. The wall is coming, and is coming on fast.
And Tower of Zod is super required as BursikBadger finds the Twin Harp upon complete.
Well, the double dip is real there. The two-getter is there. If there's anything that I've learned from doing a ton of randomizers is you do what's required first, so he immediately runs to the Barren Forest and grabs a black chocobo, and is headed on up to give us the most important check of the game. At least if you're a fan of the music. If you're like me, you skip this check 100% of the time if it's not required because you hate fun. But Bursik clearly does not hate fun.
I fought the wall and the wall won, because the wall is indeed a cheater in general. You're absolutely right.
Sylverfyre locates a behemoth up here on the moon and is going to go ahead and fight it. The big thing is, the tough thing about this particular clear is that there's not a lot of healing items left on Sylverfyre's inventory here. And we still haven't located a white mage yet. We don't know what a white mage looks like. We're not sure if healers exist or are real. There's a chance that healers exist and are real, but we have not seen any yet.
I am personally hoping that evil wall has part of Forge the Crystal, and our runners have to go back and grab Edward to hide from it.
I mean, with enough levels, like, you figure that Syl and Zoe are both floating around level 40 now. They're just gonna crush through it. And speaking of which, Sylverfyre has located a Baron key here in this particular encounter chest. The major thing is that we know that we're still missing the two halves of Excalibur. We have no parts of the Forged Crystal yet. Sylverfyre is gonna keep diving at this point in time. Probably to a save point. They're skipping treasure chests now. So, Leonard. Mario music.
Mario music!
Okay, that was incredible. Oh, that was a beautiful rendition of Rainbow Road, but we got a race to get back to. There's a package back there at the required spot, so not quite what we're looking for otherwise, but hey, got harp music. Sylverfyre is just trying to break down more behemoths down here in the lunar core. Zoe ended up adjourning, taking on Ogopogo as she got dropped by the sea serpent there, and is now in the tower cleaning up these encounter chests.
Sorry, the harp music is still ringing in my ears.
Calamity nailed it with that one. Like, absolutely nailed it.
There's so much wonderful music in the randomizer. I love going down into Cave Magnus and finding out what music I'm going to get this.
My favorite still might be Tall Tall Heights from the from Link's Awakening from the ADDQ 19 run, but I'm a little biased.
Well, shockingly, my own bias tends me towards the Oath. And as Skalakid is pointing out, we're going to get a completely different song when Team Red makes it to the Twin Arc.
A whole different song, yeah. That's what your donations have. Your donations for this, your generosity, have brought us the ability to give you not one but two songs and not one but two Z sprites. So again, thank you for all that you've given throughout this marathon as we push on towards the goal of $5,000, which is just around the corner.
Yeah, we have had another donation come in. Lexi Deer donated $10 and said, "Are healers real?" Bleep. I mean, are they real? I don't know.
Is this the real heal? Is this just fantasy?
I will not be singing tonight.
In before donation asks Demarine to...
I mean, it's got to be a pretty good donation for me to do that. I'm not normally a singer. Man, we got more Drain Spear hype. That's like double Drain Spear hype. As Yang gets bonked by Cecil, and Yang is like, "Here, have this useless piece of garbage."
So the search continues for the Adamant Stone and the Legends.
Healers are real! Look who we found! We did it! We got there. So there's your answer, Lexi Deer. Healers are real. They are behind the package. You've got to burn down Miss Village to get Porum. I'm excited. You're excited. You should be excited. Bursik's so excited, he's actually going to take Porum. I love it. I'm sure newest member of Team Porum, Rivers McCown, also loves it, even though he's not here right now. Valval is doing some swag whale flying here to go to, looks like, to head over to the Earth Crystal check. Or to go to the moon, one or the other. Also, did Sylverfyre kill Rubicant or just check chests in the core? I did not double check.
Not sure, but Moonblaze, we found Edward on Tower of Zot.
Alright, so we've got Valvalis now. So we've got Sylverfyre now doing Rubicant. We got Valvalis taking on the Pale Dim spot here. Bursik getting caught up on Dwarf Castle. Zoe doing the one turn in. Did not get... We're doing the pan turn in, gonna get the Artemis Bow here. And the Gold Apple, so going to get a whole lot of nothing. Sylverfyre is going to throw the kitchen sink at this Rubicant, it looks like right now. You know, starting to dart, going to start casting Bahamut, going to start casting Quakes. Basically just going to kind of go all out here.
Valvalis has wandered back up to the moon and is taking on Pale Dim at
Flare still hurts. So Sylverfyre does Bahamut their way, solves all their problems with dragons as they do, and it gets the key to the sealed cave, the Luca key. So that is the... Is that the last chain check item that we have? I believe it is. The Sylverfyre holding the keys to the castles here. Between the Baron key and the Luca key, that could be sort of what's kind of left on this seed for our runners here.
always so much fun when the seed hands over key items so far away from where you need to use it.
Sylverfyre, though, going to clean out the bottom of the core here. Just going to check for whatever's down here. Valvalisskunk is going to find the double red dragon chest here. Again, hard hitting, hungry for kills here, and Cecil's not going to be able to cover because that cover is over. Decides now is the time to get rid of the second Excalibur as well because we got to do some damage here.
Sid being beefy in the back row, though, taking some hits from the Red Dragons like a champ.
Yeah, Dragoon armor also ends up helping with that a lot if your Dragoon armor's on, just because, again, that real nice defense. So we'll kind of see how this works out right now. Excalibur Cecil swinging in for about 3,500 here. Valvalisskunk has given up on all pretense of using black mages, though, is on the full Zerking strats here. I guess without a white mage, this is a very good look at this point in terms of being able to punch out a lot of damage without a lot of safety.
It's not ideal, but if you kill them before they hurt you, then you can get by without the healing. Better to have a white mage.
Yeah, but really good runners can get by without one. And there's 200,000 experience points from those two red dragons. And they are guarding the Spear of White, which you normally find down in the bottom of Lunar Subterrane, and Valvalisskunk is done. Sylverfyre locates another chest in the Pink Puff room and ends up getting another Artemis bow, so nothing doing there. I know Sylverfyre is a very cleared practiced practitioner of moon clears, as they've done it a lot. They and I have worked on this an awful lot, so I know that they're very good at this.
Another benefit of the team run is that it's very, very likely that each member has certain aspects of the game that they do better than one another, and you can divide and conquer and play to each other's strength.
Alright, so Zoe is here clearing out the good doctor, as we saw earlier.
I wonder if Dr. Luga counts as a white mage. Does use heal.
Nope.
I defer to your authority on white mages.
Nope, not a white mage. But yeah, Zoe's going to get a look at Paladin Cecil and Edward here for the red team finally. Sylverfyre did it. Sylverfyre getting the reward of the day, finding the adamant in an encounter chest on Lunar Subterrane Basement 4. That is a big find because Valvalisskunk has just started clearing out the moon encounter chests here, but that is a find, and if Valvalisskunk does not have problems clearing out the moon here, we'll keep pace, but there it is. First half of the Excalibur located.
These races with objectives are not over until they're over, and Team Red getting a step back with that adamant.
Yeah, we'll kind of see what the game plan is here. As Kane gets dropped, this Blizzard is going to kill Rydia off as well. So things are a little dicey right now for Sylverfyre here in this particular fight, as this is not something I think that they were very well prepared for. Artem's Bow and Artem's Arrows will do some really good damage. It's just you gotta keep the archer alive, and Syl's gonna take a reset here. Gonna have to go back and get that adamant a second time, but they do know where it is, and they'll beeline it probably.
Team Red overall finding out a lot of good news together. Sylverfyre finding the adamant, and Zoe making it into the tower and finding Edward, and very soon we'll be finding the twin harp as well.
And Sylverfyre doing the smart thing there, quickly checking the key item log there to verify what they don't have, and they don't have the adamants. They know they gotta go back and get it.
So we as viewers are left wondering only one thing: where is that legend sword? Could be in any key item spot, behind any moon boss, summon boss, or in any one of the many trap chests throughout the game.
So yeah, we'll see how that ends up playing out for both of our runners.
So a lot of things we haven't seen on our side. No one has entered Barren Castle. No one has entered the Sealed Cave.
I mean, the
Yeah.
major thing is only one runner can at this point.
Right, only one runner has dealt with Rubicon to receive that reward.
And Valvalis has found the Baron Key, so that option does exist.
You want to know what's left to be taken care of? Ask your friendly neighborhood trainer. Hats off to you, Gambit, for tracking K-Trap for 4 runners.
Sylverfyre going back to save at this point in time. Gonna just play it safe before going into Red Dragon, Blue Dragon. Valvalis is also rolled up on our Double Dragon friends here, but boy, does Val have some levels working now, though, from clearing out the rest of the moon as well. Looking pretty good. I think, is he getting that 10 key item booster now, too? Yeah, he's at 10, so he's also going to get double experience from this as well. But, Leonhardt, guess what?
What?
It's almost time for Kirby music.
Kirby music!
Lots of good options in the Kirby series. We'll see if we can get this check on the Red and Blue Dragons first, before music. I was going to say that this is what I was really expecting to hear for Kirby music, but yeah, Green Greens is like the Kirby song for a lot of people.
Another great job of arranging the harp song by Paul Lamity.
Okay, and of course, more importantly, at this point in time, Adamant was located by Valvalis, so Valvalis clearing out the moon here as well. Bursik going to catch up on some levels here with the King Ryu grind here, going to use up the sirens that have been located at this point. And sylverfyre is prepping for Red and Blue Dragon here. Party floating around level 47.
Just a few more spots left. Legend Sword cannot be far off. You're welcome to remind me of this comment in 45 minutes.
So yeah, that's really all that we're looking for right now. That's all that remains at this point.
Our tracker in chat, Gambit, pointing out that all we have left is the entirety of Barren Castle, including the Odin spot, Sealed Cave, and an Evil Wall.
Yeah, Valvalis is going to take apart this Odin pretty quickly here with this overwhelming force. While Zoe's going to take on the Red Dragon chest here to clean that out for the experience in the item. Sylverfyre is finally going to pop underground, popping open the underground at a blistering fast 148.50, but did basically full clear the moon in the interim, so can't really fault them for that.
That's teamwork for you. Send one person underground to do scouting, continue to scout the moon, and then surgically go after what's necessary after your partner does the full exploration. And yes, Moonblaze Wolf, we are going to get encores of the songs when each team's second runner makes it to the Twin Harp. Get to hear that lovely music all over again. And we have 2 new Z sprites showing up when our runners make it through to the end. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Z sprites Scala Kitty has brought out specifically for this marathon speedrun.
Yep. So only person treading new ground right now, sylverfyre, is in the sealed cave at this point in time. Knowing that there's stuff that they absolutely need to do, but right now is not the time for that. Right now is the time for doing checks that their team has not yet done.
Get your team to go mode.
Zoe's going to give Red Team information on the Pale Dim item. Obviously not what they're looking for. We know it's not the Legend Sword at this point. Bursik is down deep in the Lunar Core here. Going to be cleaning out the treasure chest down here. We know that there's nothing much doing down there, but, hey, there's that. And it looks like Valvalis is going to also tread new ground, going to pop the Baron key, and going to go ahead and start checking Baron 2 key item locations, one in the Baron trash bin and one at the Odin throne spot.
So very soon, we as viewers will know where the Legend Sword is.
It ain't Sealed Cave, that's a moon veil.
And fire resets out immediately. Does not
So,
need for any reason.
So Valvalis in good shape here, being in Baron right now, being, again, with the 2 checks, there's 2 shots at getting the Legend Sword. Sylverfyre is flying over towards the Fey March, is still going to try and take down the Evil Wall here. Possibly, if that's the end game here. Is it behind Evil Wall? We're going to find out shortly, potentially.
The check makes sense. They are in the neighborhood, and if it's here, they can find out. And if they go to Baron and it's empty, then they have to fly all the way back down here to make it happen. So this is the moment. This is where the fun begins. Finally finding out what Sparkle handed over our key item so long ago. I had completely forgotten it was a Sparkle.
It's the Lunar Dragons. But yeah, we are about to see who's on the Baron throne here.
Valvalis making the overall quicker play, which makes perfect sense at this level, to go straight across to the basement throne before clearing out Baron Castle.
Yeah, I mean, Valvalis' party is incredibly powerful at this point as well, so, yeah, why not?
And it's Friendly Noodle.
I mean, as friendly as Leviathan gets, at least. I mean, Leviathan is known for having an exceptionally high use of Ice 2. The major thing is that at the Odin spot actually only has decent magic damage, so this should be pretty close to A-OK for this group, honestly.
When your competition for Friendly Noodle is Ogopogo, it's a low bar.
I mean, when you got Nuke, and you're just casting it with impunity, I don't know really if it matters what boss is in front of you at this point. With multiple Berserkers, with lots of Bacchus Wines, and yeah, this looks pretty good.
And there is the Legend Sword in the basement throne, being held by Leviathan.
I guess, as they say, that's that for that, right? Valvalis just needs to go and get and clean up the Twin Heart now. And Valvalis going to do the other boss here, just for the sake of doing the other boss here. Probably find Rosa for his troubles, too, I bet.
That would just figure. Also, probably a little quicker to go up here and take the fight than to wander out back to the left and walk out.
Having done the math, it's faster to walk out.
Good to know.
Not by a lot, but by like 15 seconds if it's a standard boss. And this is not a standard boss. This boss does have a little bit of scripting, so it's a little bit slower. But the cutscene after this fight is long. The shake animation kill is long. Like, there's a lot of time that gets lost here just on that off.
And it's not hard for a race to come down to a matter of seconds.
Never mind it, gang. White mages aren't real.
Unless you burn down Mist Village.
I like Miss Village. It's scenic and nice.
Hard choices have to be made when you make a run, and I will respect whatever choice you care to make in your runs.
As long as it involves not burning down Miss Village and not checking music, I'm good. So Bursik, go ahead.
About to find out what's in the Baron Trash. Today it's a char run.
So actual trash, got it. So at this point, Bursik is going down here into the lunar subterranean, digging around because he just needs to locate the Baron key from go mode here. So otherwise, he is done. You've got Valvalis here, who needs an airship to go forge the crystal because you cannot, or forge the Excalibur because you can't forge it. You cannot fly the airship under. Sylverfyre is going to get a Stardust Rod from Evil Wall, which we knew was going to be a blank anyways, but it's a pretty good blank, honestly. At least it's 15 black magic casting stat, which is the best staff, or the best rod in the game here.
So speaking of Bursik real quick, we did have a $50 donation come in from Unstable Bill that says, "Go Team Badger Dad." That donation, we are getting really, really close to our 5,000 goal. If we could hit that tonight, God, that would be fantastic to hit that today with a whole nother one still ahead of us. We still have those 2 Borderlands 2 incentives coming up. Neither one has been met yet, so hit that donation link and get those donations and let's get this done.
Donation hype. Getting so close to that 5,000. Valvalis, the first to forge their Excalibur. But they do still need to run the Tower of Zot to get Twin Harp and get to their Edward. When they do, they will be right outside Troya, but I'm not sure if they have a pass or not, so make it up to Zeromus.
If they never opened the chest in the Fey March, they will not have a pass.
And chat wondering if the Valus has Twin Harp. We will find out, as Moonblaze says. The script will make it very obvious when the Valus gets to Dark Elf.
I sure hope they do. Because we're either going to get an encore or we're going to get dead.
Twin Harp confirmed. Now, let's listen to a wonderful encore of Rainbow Road.
Yeah, it looks like the long road is over for Valvalis. Has the crystal. We've got Bursik taking on Leviathan here, so gonna get the last piece of the puzzle for Team Blue, as Team Blue is gonna be our first team to have access to Zeromus. Sylverfyre rushing the tower now, knowing that they've got a little bit of work to do in here to get their run completed, while Zoe does the Baron checks for Team Red and is going to get that information shortly of where Go Mode is located once they get to the Baron Castle and take out the Odin spot. But yeah, I guess it is kind of time for the most important question in Free Enterprise. I think we've reached that point, right? I mean, Valvalis is doing some setup, crystal in hand. It's about time.
Agree. We are there. Would you like to ask the question?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you die to Zeromus with a party at level 58, even though you have no white mage?
That's not the question, and you know it.
Fine. Fine. I'll give everyone the question they want. On the East Coast, it is 12:36 in the morning. So for me, it's whose butt are we going to kick this morning?
And it's a special butt, designed specifically for this run.
A modern, new style butt. A butt from recent video game history, potentially even.
So I know we got Z-Sprite coming up, but real quick, we've had a $35 donation from Apful Sky, who just says heart, a $50 donation from Ground Flyer, who asks whose posterior are we going to punt this PM, and we have a $182 donation from Britain the Buck that says Team Badger, love you, Bursik. And I do believe that has put us over the $5,000 mark. We are at $5,085.47. Very good job, guys. Give you all a round of applause.
That's pretty damn incredible. Speaking of things that are pretty damn incredible, I think Scala did a lot of work on this particular sprite. She said it's from 2019. I'm in love. I love this game. I know this one very well. I did this for a Valkyries event, but this is Sabuko from River City Girls 2019.
Wonderful work, as always, on these Z-Sprites.
Bahamut knows this one as well, because Bahamut also speedruns the game way more than I did.
Speaking of that, is actually going to be running River City Girls tomorrow at around 5:50 Eastern Time. So definitely tune in for tomorrow's day.
Bahamut's been working real hard on that run, so Bahamut's going to crush it. I know that, so yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, so Valvalis is setting up with some darts and some lines and some just all-out offense here, because who needs defense when you got wine? Gonna have Flurry nuke himself just in case. Gonna have just put Palom down here and just run the 4 Zerks here. Because gonna need that nuke because he didn't die.
I mean, when you have a Holy Sword, Paladin, and other melee support, you just take the first big bang and tear them apart and be done. And
that's a reflected
nuke every once in a while if you want, but it's mainly the fighters here.
Yeah, Excalibur Cecil doing a meager 6k. Seems pretty straightforward here. Bursik did finish up getting through the gauntlet because he had not finished it at that point, and so now is mopping that up real quick here. Zoe did trash bin first, and so did not get. Still needs to go back and double check and resave, and just to be safe, I'm gonna go back in.
Valis is done throwing things at Sabukamus, and Edge is drinking his. And done.
We'll get 50% of a GG out in chat for Valvalis here.
Valvalis, the first of our 4 runners to complete the fight with Zeromus, a time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 45 seconds. GG.
So lost in that hype of reaching $5,000 total for the event so far, we also met the glitch exhibition incentive for the Borderlands 2 run. We actually shattered that one by almost $200. Still a little bit short on the goal to shoot Face McShooty in the face. Please don't make me say that too many more times. We got a little bit to go before that incentive comes up in their run, so I know we've just done a heck of a lot, but let's see if we can do just a little bit more to get that last incentive for the night.
Hey everyone.
Blaze.
Yeah, this is Moonblaze. I have just hopped in here. I just want to say thank you again so much for all the support and the love that you have shown us this weekend. We are already on a PB pace and then some. And so with that in mind, we still have an entire day of marathon left. We have so many amazing runs coming up tomorrow as well. We have a lot of donation incentives that we still need to get to tomorrow. So since we have already met our second goal of the weekend, we started out at $2,500. Then we stretched it earlier today to 5,000. We already passed 5,000. We're going to keep going because we got a lot more marathon to go, and we're going to try to hit $7,500 by tomorrow night. So thank you again so much, everybody, for all of your support in the fight against COVID-19. And we really appreciate you and all the support that you've shown all of our runners and our volunteers and our helpers and just everybody that's been a part of the community this weekend. We thank you so, so much.
Yay! Everyone's awesome.
So very well said. Hard to follow that. So I'm going to settle for Bursik coming in to take care of kicking their own butt.
Yeah, well, Zoe's over here forging up an Excalibur, which should be the end of things for Zoe. Sylverfyre has a little bit of catching up to do because they've got to do the whole Twin Heart, the whole Earth Crystal Twin Heart piece here, so they've still got a little bit of catching up to do.
As this is winding down, just like to say that this has been a great run by all of our racers. Displayed great teamwork handling this 2v2 format, and also showed off a lot of individual skills, and it's been a pleasure to watch them, and it's been great to be here as part of the team with you, Demarine, and with Gambit on tracking.
Yay, you're pretty awesome too.
Thank you.
So Bursik gonna probably set up a little bit differently on this fight, but does have plenty of wine and a white mage here, so gonna throw a silk web just to slow down Zeromus, but ends up whiffing it because a little early on the throw, so gonna have to rethrow it here. Sylverfyre working down D-Lunar here is gonna go ahead and get their hands on their Legend Sword first before doing the rest of everything that needs to be done, because when they're done with the rest of everything, they will drop off right in the front of Toria to finish the seed.
Zoe with a classic egg scrambling grind to get a little more power.
Yeah, I can't get over how good this sprite is. I'm sorry. It's a fantastic, fantastic one.
That's fair. Looking forward to seeing what red team's sprite is.
Zoe's got to get through the gauntlet, and then Zeal done. Bursik here is working through the inventory of throwable items here.
A $10 donation come in from Pure Core saying, Bursik, do the thing. And looks like Bursik is just about to do the thing.
Looks right, Tuola. Thanks for hosting this as well. Ninja Magic sweeping through the gauntlet.
We got victory fireworks for Bursik here as the Meteor comes down on the party of characters who are all over 2,000 HP each, so they should be all but over into the hot moment here.
Maybe you dodge the rocks, maybe you don't. Doesn't matter.
With this much health, you don't care. You could catch the rocks and be fine, probably, but no need there. Bursik is going to clean up and take down Sabugamos to 14-16, wrapping it up for Team Blue, who will take the win this evening.
Congratulations to Bursik. Congratulations to Team Blue. Sylverfyre taking the walkout instead of the fight.
So yeah, Sylverfyre hiking out of Baron Castle at this point in time, but more importantly, Zoe's going to give us our first look at the red team's sprite. The red team was gifted with a, let's say, less than modern sprite. Something classic. Something for the ages.
Thinking what could be really classic. Seen Pong Muscle.
Scala mentioning Team Red sprites from 1990.
1990? What came out in 1990? That was the Super Mario World and the SNES launched?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff from 1990 potentially, yeah, so not sure. That's tough. There's a lot going on there.
Well, fortunately, we don't have to speculate much longer. We will see it.
It's 1990 in a game that we saw today. Maybe it's Krakow from Kirby. I'm pretty sure that's already in the pool, though, if my memory serves me correctly.
Something Kirby would fit with Team Kirby.
But yeah, one different butt. So, which other butt are we also going to kick tonight?
Problem with all our guessing is that Scala has often said, if you think it's a Z-Sprite, it probably already is.
Yeah, no, like, that's kind of how that ends up working out, with over 400 in the pool at this point in time.
But here it comes.
1990 female antagonist.
Hey, we're so saying.
Scotland. It's really awesome digging deep into a sort of an interesting speedrun that sort of oddly enough has taken hold within the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise community a little bit. Looks real good though.
It does. No surprise that it looks good.
Bob and Threadbare sighting in chat. Very nice. As everyone may know, the protagonist of Loom is occasionally screams. Still taking a moment to mop up some dragons while Zoe is hitting the rest of the Bacchus wine in the inventory here. Party took a bit of a hit from that first Big Bang, plus the nuke on Kanan, but though Asura is going to do what Asura do best, which is bring everybody back to life immensely. Jeez, 6,000 everybody, sure.
2 out of 3 times when you cast Asura, you get massive heals.
But yeah, now down, gonna get this, gonna end up getting the black hole, so now is gonna be sort of relegated to manual fighting here and some darts, I believe, out of wine.
Sylverfyre, meanwhile, is making the climb to Tower of Zot to get the Twin Harp and find Edward.
Yep. No wall from the black hole, looks like, so Zoe drops Sid horrendously with a nuke there. Asura coming out, gonna try and kind of keep things together here. Still is climbing the Tower of Zot.
Rydia slipping through that Big Bang with 69 hit points. Need to not see a gray face here.
Nope, now's the time for.
That's a gray face.
That's how it goes. Can't win them all. Unless you're Scratch Dragon. Now comes direct nuke, but still alive is Kane. We really do need a heal face here for this team at this point. Otherwise, things are gonna get real dicey. All right, things are now real dicey.
Ooh. 2 gray faces in a row, and that is the risk you take when Asura is your only healer.
Yep, things are a little scary at this point in time. There's another shake.
Looks like Zoe's gonna throw everything in potions at Cecil, try and get him through one more Big Bang. Oh, gets around for a third Asura.
Are you kidding me?
Oh!
That is a 1 in 27 chance of happening there, and Zoe losing the Asura lottery here basically, and now is just swinging away with Cecil. Another shake comes out, and this might be the end here, unfortunately. Oh no.
That's just a super tough break there. for Zoe.
Yeah, that's a little bit of insult to injury there. Honestly, that's gonna sting.
All you can do is shake it off and go at it again.
Yeah,
Do a
that
couple
is what you.
checks.
Yeah, I think anybody who runs this game is just they're hurting right now, hurting for certain.
Coming right back up to it though. Sylverfyre, taking out Mylon and friends, moving right along the route. And now Sylverfyre has the harp and will be heading over for an encore presentation of our careers.
It's pretty good.
Hey, Wag the Dog has donated $10.22. He says, as promised, here is $10 for my wrong FF4 sprite guesses, plus some extra change I found in the couch. Let's shoot the Facey McFacey shoots. Don't think that's quite right, but thank you, Wag. Also, just so people know, we are like 32, 33 hours into this marathon at this point. That is a ton of games. If there are any games you missed during the run, like I missed the Mario Golf last night, I really kind of want to see how somebody speedruns Mario Golf. But if there's a game you want to see, if you really want to hear me caterwauling Frank Sinatra again, if you just want to rewatch this entire marathon once it's over, all our videos from this event are going to be posted on our YouTube page shortly after it concludes. You can use the YouTube command in the chat to grab a link, and while you're there, make sure you subscribe.
Musical encore approaches, so we'll take a short break and let you all listen to this new and wonderful music.
And second time around, Zoe pushes on through Chaos Mist 2 hours, 27 minutes, and 8 seconds. So GG to Zoe. And good on that. And now Sylverfyre has the crystal and is going to have to quickly verify if they have one last exit in their inventory, which they do. They're going to pop it and head on out, and they are going to finish up this seed as well. Hey, Leonhardt.
Hey, Demery.
I'm tired. I need you to carry me the rest of the way through this commentary.
I will see what I can do.
It's not far, I promise.
I believe you. Just one more Z fight, and the crystal is already in hand. Some last equipment checks. Head on down.
If I can butt in for just a moment, we do have one donation I would like to read out. Our lovely host, Trello, donated $75, stating, "Here's the remainder of my promised donation for the winning FF4FE team, going 16 of 17 on key items for the run. GG to all runners, and the winners Bursik and Valvalis." So I wanted to make sure he got shouted out, and thank you so much for the donation.
Thank you, Twello.
Yeah, of course. Happy to help out.
Sylverfyre taking the path of no return up to the lunar subterrane.
So one more time with Zeromus here.
And this will also be a Asura Ridia for the heals. And also, not surprisingly, no Paladin in Sylverfyre's party, given how late the Earth Crystal check was made. Just no time to level him up to a point of usefulness. So instead, we have this party: Sid, Edge, Hain, Alum, Ridia. Taking a look through the inventory. On the other hand, not having a paladin means you have an extra Excalibur to dart.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Syl was looking for soap webs there, and I don't think they had any in their inventory.
Silkweb, the most likely search there, opts to go with a direct nuke for the initial nerf. It's going to result in a faster Z, a little more challenging to get through. But here we are, bouncing spells off our favorite wall target, Big Beefy Sid. Bringing in all nines.
Yeah, so it's still just trying to charge through this fight at this point in time, more likely than not here.
Well, if you can do enough damage to get through the first phase before another Big Bang comes out, then that might be better than rolling the Asura Lava. Excaliburs are flying, nukes are bouncing, and Big Bang is incoming. But it's going to leave everyone standing except a Alum who was already crouched down and on his last legs. Spoon follows the Excals. And Sylverfyre just continuing to pile on the offense even after being smacked down by the Big Bang.
Yeah, a little bit low on resources here. And the Big Bang coming out fast enough that this is a little troublesome.
Not having that Silk Web does hurt, and it's going to drop everyone and leave Sid down to 31.
And oh no, Big Bang into rocks.
Big Bang, you hate to see it. Big Bang into rocks, and Sid, not a character you expect to pull off the miracle dodge at the end. Oh. So close. Full tilt offense. It almost won the day. But now, Sylverfyre going to do some shopping, get better equipped, so get through the Z fight on the next pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Just doing a little bit of extra setup here just because it was just poor timing, but you don't want to do the same thing twice and have the same thing happen at the end because that's what usually will.
It was so close. There's a lovely supply of potions in the shop, and Sid makes for a great chemist. Now taking off Hamra and heading over to Feymarch.
Yeah, I think that's where Silk Webs were potentially, or Bacchus Lens, one or the other.
I promise you, I do not remember where those silk webs are, and that is probably what Sylverfyre would love to have in their bag for the second go-round. And sure enough, the silk webs are in favor.
Yay! I bet they took good notes, and I'm very proud of them.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, I do. I'm usually the note taker in the 2v2 team for Syl and I, so yeah.
Note taking is a skill that I will still cultivate. I've done 2v2 runs with Gambit. They've been good. I certainly need more practice.
There's an entire method to taking notes. It's first you get a pen, then you get a sheet of paper. And then you scribble incoherently on the paper in such a manner that makes you go, hey, wait, what's going on?
I assumed we were talking about good notes. I can put random scribbles on paper and paste it to my room like I'm some sort of conspiracy theorist.
Well, Sylverfyre is going to loot the Troy treasury, which I didn't think we saw, looking for a little bit of extra power as well here. Strength ring qualifies, I guess. Mursame's okay. Get another curse ring, sure, I guess. A tiara? Okay, well that's useful for Rydia. And an elixir for emergencies. It's alright, I guess.
Not the worst treasury I've ever seen, to be sure.
Not like 3 crystal swords or something silly like that, but hey.
This would be the worst time for Sylverfyre to find a treasury with 3 crystal swords. You can't even throw them with edge. All you can do is sell them. But they are now hopping back into town and wandering up the path of no return yet again.
While Syl makes their way up the Serpent Road, we did have a $50 donation come in from Bahamut X that says, I am so glad I was able to catch some of the free Enterprise race, especially when I got to see one of the Z sprites is from my favorite beat 'em up game that I'm running tomorrow. Thank you, Scala Kitty. And thank you, Bahamut X, for that donation.
And good luck on your run tomorrow. Here we are, once again, into the Z fight. We're all pulling for you, Sylverfyre.
You can do the thing.
Take it down! Kick its butt! Dodge the meteos! Nerf the Big Bangs! In a quick moment, rearranging in the inventory while waiting for Zeromus to transform, getting all of the critical items up in the top of the menu. Make sure to come back out of the menu to register Zeromus vulnerable to the Silk Web. And the counter nuke goes to the big man most capable of taking it. Looks like a good start. Dragoon go crazy. Ninja go crazy.
Nuke goes off before Starveil because timing is weird in this video game, and just yeah, that
Or is
yeah.
this still Paolo?
No, Rydia started chanting nuke, but the Starveil was queued up and never went off on Sid. So Sid ended up just catching a nuke.
Oof. ATB is the real black magic in this game.
Edge is going to get dropped by that nuke, and that's not great. Oh, Starville went off on Palom, but targeted Sid. That happens.
Starville was off on Palom because I think Sid had the silk.
Yeah, that happens. So trying to take a minute to reset things here.
Yeah, just take a moment, recover. You've got a nice stack of potions. Getting a little towards the sides, but far, far from off the rails yet. Darts come flying. Here comes the next big bang. And that's only going to drop the Quack Kid. Everyone else is still standing. Black Hole will clear all of the drunken wine effects. And now, the big man puts up the Starvale. Nicely timed for after the Black Hole. Similarly, Ninja gets drunk again and starts swimming.
We just had a $10.58 donation from BursikBadger with no comment, but if I'm looking at my screen right, I believe that does complete our incentive to shoot Face McShooty in the face, which officially marks the last time I have to try and say that without screwing it up. So thank you, Bursik.
Alright, looks like Sylverfyre's gotten to the refill at this point in time, so at least we're through that point of the fight. Doing a little inventory fussing here, looking for the Dragoon Spear, which I think is a little bit more... Ends up being, yeah... Or still had a Blizzard Spear equipped, so yeah, much better.
A definite improvement.
About to burn the last of the big healing potions. This elixir's going to go out on Edge to keep Edge alive through this next big bang. And should be good to go at this point.
We've got the axes chopping, the katanas slicing, spears stabbing, the dragoons jumping directly over the big bangs, and the nukes microwave.
Gonna take a bit of a risk here with this direct nuke here, just trying to push out another 9 to 10,000 damage here. Hits for about 8k. Counter nuke comes out. Gonna hit Kane, which is I think optimal here. Kane's gonna survive it at least, but now the entire party is pretty close to media wipe range. It'll take 2 to kill off Edge and Kane, but
no worries.
No worries.
Nicely finished by Silver.
246 in 8 seconds, but GG. A tough run, certainly. A little bit of a... just fell a little bit behind on the moon there, and kind of snowballed out at that point, but that's kind of the nature of the thing sometimes.
It's a tough flag set. It's designed to be challenging even for 2 good runners splitting up the duties of the flags. It succeeds at that.
I think we're bringing in our runners now for a quick post-run interview. Yeah, we got it all.
Hey. Hi, hello.
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 GG's to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, what were your general plans going into the seed, knowing the flag set and the objectives, and how much did what the seed threw at you change that as things came along?
I wanted to cry when I realized that we were going to Moon before Underground.
Yeah, basically. I saw that and I was like,
we know it's all. We all know it's there in the flags, but most practice seeds just aren't going to make you do it.
yeah, I know.
I've had a couple practice seeds that did it, but it's like one of them. It's like, okay, I went to the moon, but with an hourglass, so like I could use that hourglass to bump my XP off. A mute bell would have been good too. Like a mute bell, then you summon 3 warlocks, and then you mute them immediately, and then
yeah,
like,
I
switch
was.
them up.
We were looting the moon, and there was at least 3 times where I asked Sil, "Are we sure we didn't leave anything on the blue planet so that we don't have to do this?"
It was a rough. It was a really rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely the point when both chat and us in the commentary booth sat up and went, "Oh, and now the spice begins." It's the point where everyone had to figure out, okay, we have options, we have divergence. Which team member is going to take which duties, and what do we need to prioritize?
Yeah, there were some cool things that Zoe and I did, like the whole like swapping which one of us was clearing moon boxes versus taking the stuff back from the moon and doing checks on Earth. Felt right.
Yeah. The thing that I think hurt us there was the fact that I had yet to clear Dwarf because I wiped that Ogopogo, and so that pushed you underground instead of going straight to Baron Key, which would have saved us quite a bit of time.
Possibly.
Yeah, no, I was glad. I'm glad that Pain Man had that magma key because at least we had Sid who has enough HP to survive it. Because a lot of other bosses.
Yours did. Guess who didn't bring cures up the first time and had to go back down for cure 2s to survive it?
I had to grind for a little bit to get enough to survive that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of sheer dumb luck, like Pain Man hitting Sid for just enough to not kill him, and then having a cure 3 in my inventory.
I had burned my cure 3 earlier while doing something, and I just it felt so bad. I was like, if I had that cure 3, I would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, Val got through it first for us, and then it was dicey for me. I had to go up, do hair dryers, and then also do King Queen Eblin.
I think I had done Golbez and something else.
See, I did King Queen Eblin, I did hair dryers, and then I literally went out in front of the lunar subterrane and just grinded a few random encounters. Did one reaction and then just quaked a bunch of stuff, and then was like, okay, I have enough HP. Let me go back down.
I want to point out one fun thing we saw up here was at one point we had everyone but Sylverfyre in the King Queen Eblin fight at the same time.
Yes, you all 3 of you got there at the same moment.
That's amazing. The thing with and still like the lawyer was like found it and was like, oh, it was here, and we were trying to figure out if I'd actually called it out or not because I was like, oh, I thought, whoops.
I think we were too busy freaking about the DKC.
Yeah,
that's fair. Ian, Keith, and chat would like to ask a question of the runners. How convoluted do your backup plans get?
What's that? Our what backup plans?
I think what he asks is, you've got a main plan going into the seed, but do you make a lot of plans for when things don't go according to plan, or do you just kind of take that on the hop as it comes to you?
So for me and Bursik, we kind of plan out our first 3 or 4 checks and then just base everything after that. If you try to plan too far ahead, your plans are going to fall to mush.
Yeah, we did the same thing. We planned like, all right, here's how we're going to route our shopping percent and who's going to like hit Antlion first and stuff like that. And then as KI start to fall into place when we start divvying up the work.
Anyways, I'm just going to give a quick thank you because I think we probably need to wrap this up real quick. Thank you, Demarine, Commander Leonhardt, and Gambit, all 3 of you for helping out with this. Tualo for hosting, and of course, Moonblaze Wolf for hosting the event, the Fastest Furs, and doing the restream. This was a lot of fun, and I greatly appreciate being able to be a part.
Yeah. I second those thank yous, and thank you to Syl for being my teammate. Thank you to Val and Bursik for I can't remember who approached who about this submission, but I was really happy.
I approached everyone about it, and also a gigantic shout out to Scala Kitty, Calm, and Boardface for helping get these seeds ready for us to show off and have the donation incentives. It's amazing what they can do for us on very quick and very short notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to second all of that, and also shout out to all of the donors giving this great cause.
All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead. Yes, so many people involved in this run: runners, announcers, programmers, trackers, like everybody. You guys all did awesome. We got one last run coming up tonight. It is our Borderlands 2 co-op with Shockwave and Amerlin. Yes, Amerlin. We did made our incentives for that run, so it is going to be a good way to wrap up day 2 of the Fastest Furs Summer Showcase. Just real quick before I leave you guys for tonight, because this is it for me too. We collectively, the team all doing this and our volunteers, we are Team Fastest Furs. We are a group of furry speedrunners dedicated to building a strong community and using our powers for good. Our community is welcoming and open to all, and we currently host 2 charity speedrun marathons per year. If you're interested in joining us, you can hit the Discord command in chat to see our Discord. And if Twitter is more your thing, you can also hit the Twitter command to see our Twitter. So once again, thank you, everybody. I am out, and everybody enjoy the Borderlands 2 run coming up.
Goodbye, everybody. I love you, Syl.